Welcome to Three Steps. This is the fourth and final part, the bonus footage of Carl John's interview. If you missed the first part, this is your first time here, follow the link, and let me tell you who he is. Carl John was a business developer and a real estate developer in Las Vegas. He was like that power guy, you know, the guy in the suit and fast car and all that. And he decided to just switch careers. Like he's just grab the wheel, turn right, we're going over here, we're not doing that anymore. And he chose to move to Nashville to become a songwriter and to put out an album. And he wrote a book. And in his leap of faith to come to Nashville and do these things, he chose a new spiritual path for himself and dove feet first. And he went through an arc and he went through some changes and he became a spiritual healer. And, you know, now who he is fully embodied in all of those things. He's no longer shunning any of that. He's a complete all of it. Like he is a businessman. He is a songwriter. He is an author. He is a spiritual healer. He is a man who's a father. He is a friend, and he is successful, you know, and he thrives. And to quote him, you know, step fully into who you are. He has fully stepped fully into who he is. And this one, man, the answers are so good. It is such a good cap to this interview process. He gives such great goodies, and when he goes into thriving, there is such vulnerability in what he shares. And when he goes into the 3 steps, they're just beautiful, eloquent answers with really, really subtle, good stuff. But the tail end, right at the end, we went on this tangent, this deep dive on this topic, and it is so good. It is so good. You know, ultimately what he wants you to create ease in your life and to create flow. And I challenge you to feel more of that. All right, watch the interview.
What does thriving mean to you?
Ooh, thriving. This is good because I went through a point in my own evolution of nothing really matters, right? So because nothing matters, then nothing matters. I don't really have, you know, I've already got the stuff in the past, and I don't really care, so I don't really have the passion to drive toward it. So I found that I wasn't thriving. I went through a period of becoming a bit of a monk, you know, really not relating to the outside world in that way or the stuff and the things. And now I'm at a different point where I feel that I am thriving and that energy is attracting more. It's okay to have the stuff and the things, but to not be attached to them. To put them above your own soul.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
To put them as the reason for being. Right? They're just another tool along the way. Yeah. And it's like, oh, great. Okay, I can do more if I have more tools.
Yeah.
And you start thinking that, and you're like, oh, this is now exciting. I'm going to go play in this field. It's all the same field. You can just choose to play in the muck, or you can play, you know, amongst the stars.
Yeah.
Right? And you're choosing to play amongst the stars.
Yeah.
And the difference in that is thriving, because it's the difference you feel here. It's like, fuck yeah, life.
Yeah.
Or life.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm still not attached to any of the things. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, oh, I'm going to go play in this because this is going to be more exciting, and this is going to bring more love, more passion, more excitement into the world, and in a good way. I want to bring more love and joy and peace and fucking harmony, and we don't have to be living the way that we've been living.
Yeah.
With the competition, right? And the lack. There is an abundance of everything all around us.
There fucking is, man.
At all times.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the best things about Burning Man back in the day is like knowing that if you come in from a space of gifting, that everybody around you has more than they possibly could use and need.
Yeah.
And you're in this beautiful place of connection.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we can get to that because we are that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so be that, that's thriving.
Yeah.
Be that.
Yeah. It's interesting to hear you say the thing about your monk period, because I watched that,
yeah.
and honestly, from the outside looking in, it looked like you were, as much as you got rid of the material parts of things, you looked as though you were thriving in that place, and in such that your energy was fed, your life was fed. You felt so alive, even in your stillness, as you were going through that bunk phase. And it's crazy for me, because I think of you as someone that has thrived so well in all the different aspects of thriving and all the flavors of thriving to find your perfect version of thriving.
Yeah, I didn't look at it that way when I was going through the renunciate phase, and it was pretty much, the clothes in my bag, the guitar in my hand, and I would crash where I laid. And I wear wraps, so it was very easy. And I was present, and I wasn't thriving. I was going through a period of lack in a way, but that was also something I had to go through to learn and grow. To come to the place of, oh no, you can be this, right? And you can thrive within that space, because you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it. You don't have to repel things.
Yeah.
You don't have to repel abundance. You can accept that again and still be grounded in this space.
Were you paying a penance?
That's a good question. Yes.
There's definitely some self-flagellation.
There was some self-flagellation because I was successful, and I went through that roller coaster of Vegas, and
Right.
I wasn't in integrity with myself. I wasn't in integrity with my marriage. I wasn't in integrity with any aspect of my life, and lost millions of dollars in a short period of time, and houses and all the things, and didn't feel that I deserved to have that. Or what would I do if I had it again? Would I be that guy again? I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I identified it with. I identified wealth with this character. And so I guess I had to go through the process of forgiveness and putting that to bed. Right? So yeah, there was a piece of
Right.
and I just got tired of wearing my stripes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they're no longer that.
Yeah.
Look at everything about you. You are not this vibration at all. So step fully into who you are today.
Yeah.
And I did the rooting work. So I was able to rise up in a better, more grounded way.
Yeah.
The full oak tree.
Yeah.
That's the masculine energy I want.
Yeah.
Rooted deep, solid. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not swayed by
Yeah.
the first wind and the storms that come, because they're going to come.
They're gonna come.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want my roots to be as deep as my branches high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing good. You're doing good. What are the 3 pieces of advice you would give a younger version of yourself to get here faster?
The 3 pieces of advice that I would give myself: be still longer, move less. Sit in the silence. When you walk in the world, you're going to attract what you need in that space. When someone says to me they don't have 20 minutes a day to meditate, I say meditate an hour. Because when you drive to work and you have nothing but green lights and the parking is right up front and you ease in and out of your life, you're in flow. You have time. When you're struggling, fighting, and you're in the traffic and you're in the you don't have time. So you can start with building it within yourself.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the first things I would teach myself as a young child. Self-love. Love all those parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, hey, you know what? I have a deep spiritual practice. And I'm dirty as a country back road.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all you, baby.
God bless my heart. It's all me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so all those parts, all those pieces are fucking beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
All those pieces are beautiful. All those pieces are making up the whole. And you may not see it, right? Because you don't have the bird's eye view of why this to get to that. But it's all complete. So once you accept that, you show up in love with life in yourself all around you, and things flow easier. Right?
It's true.
They flow easier. So wouldn't you want to have a life that flows easily?
easier, yeah.
The only thing to fear is fear itself. We've all heard it.
Yeah.
What does that mean? In every moment that I've had any growth, there's been a moment of stepping over a place of fear. Taking the stage, speaking in front of people, making an investment, making a commitment, a relationship. It's a moment of stepping past that fear, and you realize that it's all been this big scary monster. But that big scary monster, usually this little guy whose shadow and light has been skewed. So you're seeing the big shadow of the scary monster, but it's this little dude over here.
Yeah.
And once you recognize that most of these things that you fear never come to pass,
Right.
right?
God.
And you spend all this time and anxiety and whatnot in your head, right?
Yeah.
For the thing that is never going to happen,
Yeah.
instead of looking at what's the best possibility, what's the best thing that can happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I would tell myself to step out of fear and look at the positive things that can happen. It's like, okay, yeah, that might happen. What's the best thing that can happen? Yeah, you could get hurt doing that. Or, you could, set a record for the longest jump. You can, be, interviewed in the newspaper and the TV and all this for this tremendous thing. You could impact a generation of people that saw this jump, and you inspired them to go for the team, to go for the gold as these little kids. All that could happen
Yeah.
when you take that leap. Or you might get hurt. But the possibilities are actually more of the positive.
Yeah.
Like there's this little negative that could happen, but there's this all this stuff that you can't even think that could possibly happen, that you couldn't even imagine as a blessing when you step through that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what gives you your real confidence too.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Preach. That is so damn true, man. I had two thoughts when you were telling the story. My wife has this experience that happened recently where she was mid awake, almost asleep, and she had like this start of a nightmare thing happening where she was seeing all these skulls and monsters and dark shadowy stuff, and it was feeling ominous, and she was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then she's like, oh, and she's like, what? Well, and then she thought about me and how much I love skulls and I love monsters and I love those things, and I laugh and I get gleeful about them, and she's like, and all of a sudden it just flipped. It flipped for her, and she's like, oh, this is things my husband loves, and all this, that kind of thing. It's amazing how looking at the positive of what could be the outcome gets overlooked with that fear conversation. Oh man, and just to have that, like, okay, pause. That could happen. Pin that. What else could happen? Oh God, such a beautiful thing.
And where do you put your energy?
Where do you put your energy?
Right, because you start focusing on the thing you fear, it's going to grow.
And you will bring that into your life.
Right, so why not focus on the possibility?
Yeah.
Why not focus on the unknown potential? Why not focus on, yes, it could be all these things. Let's go do all the things, right? And be excited, because you notice the difference in your own vibration. When you sit there and you're in fear, or you switch it into possibility, notice the vibrational change within your body, within your being. So what are you going to attract?
Yeah.
What are you attracting from? What magnetism are you putting out there? The one based on the fear?
Yeah.
Or the one based on the possibility?
So true. Oh God. It's so fucking true. It's a crazy mind fuck up. You hear people talk about this kind of shit, and they're like, it's fucking woo woo, da 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 da. It's like, until you put that, you look at children. Children don't have that fear conversation. Right. They don't have that fear conversation until the adult puts that fear in them.
Right.
They're like, this world's, I can do anything here. Anything's possible. And they're like, can we go to China and do this? They don't have any understanding of coordinating planes and hotels. And it's like, for an adult, that could look like a hurdle. Or it could be like, you know what? I'm getting time off. You know what? We've got friends that want to go to China. You know what? We could actually do this. Hey, you know what? I have a job-related thing I could do. I could turn this into a business. Like, you start looking at possibilities. I could go there, and I could set up an appointment with someone there, and I could set up that thing so I can go work for a day, and then this trip becomes a business trip, and we can do a write-off, and you suddenly start thinking differently, and you start unpacking from a possibility place. It changes everything.
Well, look what just happened. In the way you were talking about that, you went from the negative, well, we can't go to China, right? Or, oh, this is going to be hard, or blah. Whenever you're in that space and you look back in your life when you didn't do something, why didn't you do it? Because you pretty much talked yourself out of it vibrationally, right? But when did you accomplish something? When you were like, oh yeah, and then when we're over there, I want to go to this temple, and I want to do this thing, and we're going to do this thing there, and then you get your passport, and it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your passport, you're not really traveling in
the world, no.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're saying I want to travel, and you don't have a passport, that means you don't believe it.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it, the universe agrees.
Yeah, totally
It
true.
ain't going to happen. So you start putting your intention on it, you get excited about that. Guess what? You may not have $2 to your name, but somehow by the time you got there, those steps appeared as you were walking. It's like you didn't know how that, and you just went forward confidently, and whoop, that step was there.
Yeah.
And then you moved forward again.
Yeah.
Right? How did you get there? I don't know how I got there, but I did, and here I am in China.
In China.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's saying yes to things. And planning for the yes as opposed to planning for the no.
Yes. Right.
Oh man, it's such a beautiful conversation here. The it's so much. We were talking about this yesterday a little bit, about how with the Forge and Men, and and it's like if you don't plan for your success, if you don't take the little steps to make sure you have the tools in your tool belt, or implement the things like if you've never gone and got your passport. Right, it's such a process. It's just money. Pay for the damn thing. Then, when someone says, hey, I got a ticket to go to the Bahamas, come with us, you can't. You're not going to, because you can't leave in 2 days and get that visa handled. Well, you can.
Right.
You can. You can.
There's always a way.
There's always a fucking way. There's always a way. But for the person that's in the I can't have it place, you can't do it. Can't be done. Well, it can't be done. You know, it's like I call the consulate. I call it. Go down to get my passport. It's like, oh well, we need to have a visa, and like, well, they don't do that. It's like, actually, they do. There is a way to rush things. There is a way to pay a little extra money and get the damn thing handled, and you can have it today.
There's always possibility.
There's always possibility. There's always a solution. You could always write someone. You can always call someone. You can always throw up a flare for help, and or just let the world know I really want to do this thing. Like I have had the best life because I've said yes to the thing. Whenever we talk about doing a thing, it's romantic. It's a nice idea. And that idea will linger and linger and years will go by. The minute we say, let's do the damn thing. Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've taken the ropes off.
Yeah.
When you have apprehension about something, you are tethering yourself to the shoreline. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you say, I'm doing this thing, and you energetically believe that, you've taken off those ropes. So now you're out there in flow, and the things will come to support that vision that you have, because your vibration is leading the way. But when you keep that, I don't know, I hem, I haw, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson that I've learned over and over again. The only difference is my intention and my belief in it at the time. I'm seeing this. This is what I'm seeing out here. That's true to me out here, right? And then as you get closer, that vision becomes solidified into form. That dream becomes form, but you have to move towards it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. This has really been lovely and very I want them to get this stuff. You've done a really good job articulating, and it's made me very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. There, guys.
Thanks for watching. Yeesh, so good, right? Oh my God. Hit the like button. I know it was such a good video. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and join the group, because tomorrow he's going to be in the Facebook group for a Q&A. So if you have questions that are burning that you'd like to ask him, there's your opportunity to talk with him in person. All right. See you next week.